The comparative form for adjectives shows the difference between two things. For example, I have 2 tomatoes. This is a big tomato, and this is a small tomato. To describe the difference between the 2 tomatoes, I can say, this tomato is bigger. This tomato is smaller. I can also say that this tomato is bigger than this cherry tomato. Or I can say this tomato is smaller than this larger tomato. I have 2 cameras. This camera is cheap. I paid maybe $20 for this camera 6 years ago. And this camera is expensive. I paid about $400 for this camera. To show the difference between the 2 cameras, I can use the word cheap or the word expensive. The word cheap has only 1 syllable. Cheap. 1-syllable words in the comparative form add the ER. Cheaper. Expensive has 3 syllables. Expensive. With words that are 2 syllables or longer, you have to use the word more. More expensive. It's not possible to use more with a 1-syllable word. You can't say more cheap. And you really should not say more cheaper, although sometimes you'll hear that in American English. Many Americans make mistakes with the comparative form. So, cheap becomes cheaper, expensive becomes more expensive, and remember that frequently when making a sentence, after the comparative, you use the word then, but not always. This camera is more expensive than this camera. Or I could say that this camera is cheaper than this camera. There are 3 possibilities that an adjective can take in the comparative form. If there's just 1 syllable, for example, big or small, or I can use old, then you add an ER. On a word like big, because there's a vowel in front of the consonant at the end, you have to double the consonant. Big becomes bigger using 2 G's. Noisy is 2 syllables, but it ends in a Y. So to make the comparative form, you have to change this Y to an I, and it sounds like this. Noisy, noisier. Busy, busier. Longer words that are 2 syllables or more, such as interesting, will add more at the beginning of the word. More interesting. And remember, frequently the word then will follow words that are in the comparative form. So, older than, noisier than, more interesting than. There are also some irregular adjectives that don't follow these examples. A word like good in the comparative form is better. This movie is better than the one we saw last week. And the word bad in the comparative form is worse. A hamburger is worse for you than a salad. And of course, there are always exceptions to the rules that I've just explained. A word like fun is only 1 syllable. but you can't say funner. You say more fun. And as with everything else, Americans will break the rules and say whatever they want to say. So you will hear some people say funner, and you will hear some people say more big instead of bigger. But these are the basic rules for the comparative form.